Hello again, here's another silly video for Christmas period. It's the Die Hard series. Because in my last video I talked about the Die Hard series as a Christmas film. First one is, but isn't. I'm not going to go back through all that, but I thought I'll just do a Die Hard series video as well while I'm at it. Again, I think you've noticed these videos this week. I've been trying to kind of do something, but I'm not trying to be too serious about it because the last week to Christmas you really can't be bored watching like a Bresson movie and, you know, talking about it, or watching a video about a Bresson movie. I don't think it's really something people will really be into watching, so I'm just trying to do some sillier videos. I'm going to do a Christmas list, not a Christmas list, a best of the year list. A day or two before Christmas Day. It's not going to be any lights or anything, it's just going to be me talking about films, but that's going to be it. I don't want to do some pretentious thing or anything. I just want to do these films might interest you type of thing, because that's what all lists really are. These might interest you. You know, you can basically try to talk about the films and get people interested in seeing them. That's all it ever really is, and I wonder what their opinion is. I don't think you should take it too seriously. But anyway, as you shouldn't take this one seriously, because I'm talking about Die Hard. Right, the first one, obviously is genius. The first Die Hard movie is one of those beautiful action movies you get once in a while. You get something like this, or Dirty Harry, or Terminator, first Terminator. You know, it's just perfectly done action, and perfectly set up story. The story's great, the setup is terrific, and it's like they got the right cast, the right director, everyone's hungry, everyone's on the ball. They're just delivering moment after moment. And Die Hard's great because there's a great build up to, the first third of the movie is just build up, build up, build up. But within the build up, you're cutting the build up with stories of Bruce Willis's marriage as it's failing, as he's trying to deal with his wife and messing it all up. So because you're dealing with that, you've got a human story to connect to, but because you've got the threats, the build up starting, that stuff doesn't drag you down too much, because it's like, okay, we're going to get some action anyway, so I can sit through this. And then you're like, oh, this is really good, this is a really good sequence of talk scenes, and it's like, it really works because the dialogue scenes work, they're understandable, you understand what both characters are about, you understand that both of them are points, and it's like, and they don't try and make the Bruce Willis character right about everything. He's wrong about some things, and he even admits it later in the film that he made mistakes and he was stupid for certain things. So, I mean, it's really a lot of nicely done stuff, and that build up keeps going through the movie, because you've got that unresolved story of Bruce Willis and his wife throughout the movie that has to be like resolved at some point. So that you've always got that, and you've always got the threat of her getting caught by the terrorists at any opportunity, because obviously everyone's seen Die Hard, they all know that she's trapped with the rest of the people in the building. There's terrorists all around, or they're really robbers. They call themselves terrorists just to hide what they're actually doing. And so you've always got the threat of her getting caught, and then you have Bruce Willis can throughout the whole building, just take them out one by one. Again, that could have been boring, but because there's this brilliant setup of, okay, what are they actually about? Because they say the one thing, and then quickly you realise it's a robbery, but you don't know what the plan is, so throughout the whole movie you're working out the plan as it gets revealed bit by bit. And they're a lot more, these terrorists are a lot more clever than you initially suspect. So it's great because the criminals are actually good at their jobs, so it makes it harder for the hero to actually succeed. And they also do great sequences of showing how hard it is. He has to go up and down the building in his bare feet, and every time he has to do it, there's always lots of little obstacles that become really difficult because there's terrorists around, and it's always a problem for him to go up to the top of the building to try and get attention. Then the terrorist comes, has to get all the way back down and up and down, and it's like there's always, and they're getting wise to a lot of his moves, so they start to plan ahead, and he has to try and warn authorities and deal with authorities, and there's always a complication. And that's what's really good about the film, is It's always interesting complications going on all the way through it. It's actually the thing about Die Hard that's really good. It's the thing that's really got lost pretty quickly in the series, is this believable complications. I mean, it's obviously a movie, but they're believable within the context of the movie, and there's stuff that you can relate to, because everyone's been in a building. You don't have to be in a building with terrorists, but you've been in a building. You've climbed stairs, you've had interaction with people who what you don't like, and all that stuff comes into it. And obviously, because Bruce Willis is a cop, but he's not a super cop. He gets injured and it hurts the way it would hurt for anyone else. So they've always got those elements going, so everything's very difficult, and it builds and builds until there's little explosions throughout, and there are little details throughout that always keep your attention, keep things moving. It's always something fascinating going on. So it's one of those things where everything connects beautifully. It's just a wonderful machine of a movie. It's like everyone's got the right ideas at the right time, saying, "What if we do this? What if we do that?" There's like an organic progression throughout the story. So all the supporting characters work, whether they're comic like some of the cops, or they're dramatic like the cop that Willis is talking to over the walkie-talkie, because they've got an emotional bond. So there's lots of little details. You get character through them. You get character through action rather than any boring talk. You get an idea of a person through how they act. So it's a beautifully made film. I don't want to drone on forever about Die Hard, because again, it's a light film. But the only thing I would say is it's so well directed. I mean, the direction is beautiful. The camera moves float. So you're floating into threat and out of threat. So you're seeing people waiting with guns. And it does it in a really light tone, like, yeah, here's a problem he's going to have to deal with. Well, let's go and see what he's doing now, and then you have to see him try and deal with it. And it's this slow threat that's floating through the film, and then every so often it just kicks into like mortal terror, and then it goes back to the floating camera. And so it creates this constant threat throughout the film. There's always something going on, and the camera's like watching everything, and it's moving. And they use camera move to build pace and slow pace and not be overt. So the camera's doing the job of almost the music at some points, where there is music. The music's much more conventional, and the camera's doing a lot of the build up, slow down. And that's a real gift for a director to do. That's really hard to do. A lot of directors don't do that. McTiernan at this point in his career could do that, so it was really well done. So Die Hard's a beautiful film. It's one of those films you can watch a lot and still get a kick out of, because even when you know what's going to happen, the characters are so good you really enjoy watching them interact. So that's what's great about Die Hard. Die Hard's a lot of fun. Die Hard's really wonderful. Die Hard 2 is the worst movie you've seen 10 times. That's my best way to describe it. It's like, it's bad, but it's really enjoyable bad. There's what I was saying about it's also set at Christmas, but it's like talking Christmases. In the first one, there's a sense of a Christmas party going on. There's a sense of Christmas series floating through the film, but it's not overdone. It's like it's there, but by the end of it, it really feels important to the mood. And this one, it's Christmas. They mention it a couple of times, and it's snowing, and they're at an airport, but it doesn't feel ingrained into the film, because this is a very cold film. I mean, this is a film where they blow up a plane full of people and then forget about it because it's just a plot point. It's that kind of film. The story is basic. I mean, basically they're trying to get these group of terrorists are threatening the airport, and they want to release a war criminal. It's a very cold story. There's nothing to engage you. Bruce Willis gets caught up in it and tries to stop them, because his wife's on one of the planes, so if he doesn't stop them, her plane will be the ones that will crash, because the planes are getting threatened if they don't let this guy land and let them leave. So it's a very basic setup. It means it separates him and his wife again, so it's very lazy because it's the same convention again. So they don't think of a real reason for him to follow up that's not tied to his wife yet. And that's kind of disappointing, because it just means you're feeling a bad case of deja vu, And there's no real threat, you know she's going to survive, so it tells you everything you need to know. She's going to survive because she survived the last one. They're not going to kill her off in this one. You'd know it. I mean, it'd be balls if they did, but they don't. And you know, everything's very safe, and there's lots of action scenes, and there's lots of silly action, and it's all enjoyable. It's really enjoyable. There's a great hilariously bad bit where Bruce Willis is in a airplane to throw grenades in, and he does an ejector seat, and he jumps, the ejector seat goes up, everything explodes around him, and it's one of the worst effect shots ever. I saw this in the cinema. It looked terrible there. It's always looked terrible. Just in case you watch it now and think, did that always look terrible? Yeah, it did. It always looked bloody awful. It was all, I got laughs when I was watching the cinema because it was so bad. You know, I mean, the problem with the film is it is just silly. I mean, it's just a big mess of silly. It's boring at times. It's in between the scenes of action. It's just all these caricatures who aren't very interesting. It's not the first one where you had all these broad characters who are fascinated by how they were going to react. This one, they're just dull caricatures. They just are loud. They're loud, but they're not witty in any way. They just repeat like the same one mannerism. Dennis Franz is one of the cops that's always stopping McClane, and he's just there to cause trouble, but he's not very interesting. So they've got a good actor doing a duff part. And the whole movie's kind of like that, where everyone's just there. But again, because it's weirdly addictive, because it's Die Hard 2, so you end up seeing it a lot. I've seen this film too many times, and even though it's like, it's not even that good, but I have watched a lot. I think the general idea of an airport siege is a good idea, it's just they didn't do anything interesting with it. So that's Die Hard 2. Die Hard 2 is, it's okay, it's fine. But if it's on like, during Christmas and you're hungover, you probably will put it on. Or you either put it on or you watch it, you know. So it's easy to watch, it's not painful to watch. You know, we'll get to that. Die Hard 3 is the one good sequel. You know, I mean, the Die Hard movies are sort of like the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry movies, where there's a great first one, and then there's like one interesting sequel, one good interesting sequel, one or two mediocre ones, and a terrible final film. You know, it's that kind of thing where everyone kind of wanted to buzz the first one again, so they kept on going back and back to them, even though you can never get the magic back again. This one brought McTiernan back to direct it, and that's the one good sequel. It's flawed in the second half. The second half gets a bit choppy, but the idea behind it is great, and the humanity's back in this one, because the sequel is kind of cold, as mentioned. This one, it takes place in New York. Bruce Willis is divorced from his wife, so there's no wife character in it. He's a drinking problem, now he's hungover, he's suspended from work as a cop. And so his life's in the toilet at the moment, and that's when bombs start going off in New York. Yeah, this would be made nowadays, right? And the people setting the bombs off say unless McClane does all these tasks for them, they'll keep setting off bombs. So he has to go through all these tasks, and he ends up getting Samuel Jackson's character involved, and they're basically a double team. They're a team who don't like each other much, and they're just, you know, it's a typical thing of two guys don't get on and they learn to respect each other. But because it's Willis and Samuel Jackson, they have fun with it. The interactions are well done, so it's really enjoyable watching them annoy each other. So it's like, even though it's not the most warm relationship, it is a fun relationship, and they really insult each other. They do that thing where guys insult each other, and the affection comes through insults at a certain point. So it's really enjoyable watching them work together. It's really fun to watch them go through this whole movie together, and all the different tasks are done with a lot of verve. And of course it's a sequel to Die Hard, in that the villain turns out to be the brother of the villain from the first one, and he's going to rob the Federal Reserve, and which is all America's gold, or most of it. And that's fun as well because Jim Barnes plays him, and he knows how to chew the scenery. I mean, it's not as well written a villain as Alan Rickman's original Hans Gruber, but it's still, you know, he's not quite as smart as Hans Gruber was, or as evil as Hans Gruber, but it's still a lot of fun, and he's got an evil plan, and he enjoys taunting Bruce Willis throughout the entire movie. He just has some fun with it, and everyone's having fun in this movie. There's an infectious fun element to it. The supporting characters are in there, and they're chewing the scenery and enjoying themselves. So McTiernan likes having character actors do little parts and, you know, have fun with them. He's one of those directors who likes giving actors a little bit of breathing space to develop something that makes it memorable. So this film has a lot of that. Same with Die Hard is the same thing, where he let the actors go a little bit. Even if they're playing a cliched part, they still put some stuff into it because they've got like the kind of support to try and do something with it. So the film has that feel to it of each scene, even the dialogue scenes, are enjoyable. Then when the action comes, because you like the characters, you're really going with them, and that helps the action. And the action is great. I mean, there's a sequence where they have to get from one place to another to stop a bomb going off in a train, and Willis drives through Central Park, and it's just that whole sequence of him trying to get to stop the bomb going off is great. And there's lots of scenes like that. There's another scene where he's under a tunnel trying to work out what the villains are up to, and then they flood the tunnel, and it's really silly. I mean, it's way broader than the original, but it works. It just works because it's a bit broader, but it's silly, but they know the film they're making, so they can still sustain it. So it's a nice silly film. It's more comic book than the first one, but it's still really well directed. Even though McTiernan does shaky cam a lot, but he's the first guy who used shaky cam in a modern action movie, so it's his fault basically. But he could use it a lot better than most directors who use it, because he knew is to get an emotion of confusion, and then you cut back and let people see what's going on. Like, he uses it to suggest an increased sense of irrationality, but he still covers things, so you still know what's going on. I mean, the only problem with the film is this: they've got like a few climaxes that are set far apart from each other physically. That doesn't quite work as well, because you've got McLean on one side and a school on the other side of the city. And that could have worked out differently to make it work more cohesively, but it's still really enjoyable. I mean, it's not as good as the first one, but it's really enjoyable. It's a good night in to watch this one. You're going to enjoy yourself. It's a rare good sequel. And again, I look at it as a sequel. You can actually watch this and first Die Hard as two films, and you ignore the rest of the films and you'll have a good time. Up to next after that, that's the end of the good ones. Now we're part 4. If you like part 4, I feel sorry for you. I might as well be diplomatic. Yeah, part 4 is rubbish, but it's rubbish in a weird way that's weirdly kind of enjoyable. It's kind of like the way that Die Hard 2 was basically Die Hard 1 remade but done badly. This is Die Hard 3 remade but done badly, because it's Die Hard 3 was set over New York. This one's set over the East Coast, and there's lots of running around like there was in Die Hard 3. But because you're going to Baltimore then into the countryside, then back into the city, and it runs around a lot and doesn't really do much with it. It's just like lots of sequences. It seems to be aping 24 a lot, but without the kind of paranoia of 24. 24 is a great pulp paranoid TV show where it was really silly a lot of the time, but you can really just enjoy being paranoid for an hour. I used to watch the box sets all the time, just do a box set over 3 or 4 days, have a lot of fun with 24. This one seems to make people like 24, but there's even sequences like inside nuclear plants that was like, that's just from 24. But I tried to do Die Hard, but they brought Bruce Willis back like 10 years later, And he doesn't act like the same character. He doesn't feel like the same character at all. He's not as sarcastic. He's not as tortured. He's now divorced from his wife entirely, and that's when you seem to lose. You've lost all humanity from him. He's just a cop. He's just a Bruce Willis character, not really Die Hard. It's just, they use the name, but it's not really the character anymore. So, it doesn't really work. His daughter's in it. Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays her, and she's fun because she's the most fun bit of the film because she knows what film she's in. She's having fun with it. Timothy Olyphant's the villain, and it's probably his worst performance ever because he's given nothing to do. He's playing a computer hacker, and they give him nothing. He's struggling the whole way through the film because he's given nothing to work with. And the whole film's like that. It's just like Justin Long plays a sidekick, a hacker who's helping Willis throughout the film. And they're meant to start respecting each other like Samuel Jackson Part 3. But it never really works because the characters are non-starter as well. And they're just running from sequence to sequence, and none of the sequences are tied to anything else. Emotionally, there's nothing. There's a plot point, but there's a plot you don't really care really about because it's just all about computer hacking. And who cares about computer hacking? And there's no emotional tie to anything. They say that these have great importance. This could take down an entire country, and you don't believe it for a second. The last one was stopping bombs going off. There was always, visually you always knew where you were. There was always connection to the rest of the city in that film, so it always felt, even though it was wider than the last Die Hard films, this one, the ones that came before were in limited locations, was wider, but it didn't feel that much wider. It still felt within reason. This one just feels like there's no claustrophobia at all, and it's just dull to watch. And every so often to kill a villain, but the villains are just vaguely explained, so it's like, you know, something's happening. I'm meant to be interested. And the finale is just excess, but nothing interesting happens. They've got a plane fighting Willis in a truck, and you don't care at all. It's just like, that's happening. You know, why am I supposed to care at all about any of this? And Willis looks bored throughout the film as well. It's like, it's obviously he's not doing it for it. He's doing it so he can make something else he wants to make rather than do this film. So that's Die Hard 4. Watch it if you're bored, but don't expect anything. Now we have Die Hard 5. It's shit. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's me till after Christmas. I'll be back with more serious films in the new year. But you know, I didn't know what to do Christmas week. Serious stuff. So I thought I'd just do Die Hard films. And really honestly, after talking about the first and the third one, there's not much else to say about these films because there's really nothing to them at all. And even the good ones are good because the way they're made is about the filmmaking. There's not much themes there, it's just the filmmaking's good. But I hope you enjoyed that. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year. But I will be back with the Christmas, the best of the year, but that'll be very low key without lights. So I'll see you later. Right, bye.